I've always wondered. I've always wondered what Suns fans are going through right now. When it comes to them just saying Suns in 4, then Suns in 5, now Suns in 6, and now it's probably gonna be Suns in 7. It's a very big and mysterious mystery going on between Suns fans over how they're feeling right now. Some are like, "Oh yeah, we got this still," and others are staying quiet on the back end, pretty stressed out of their minds right now as they don't know what's about to happen tomorrow. But yeah, so this is episode 17 of Crunch Time. This is gonna be a very good episode. This is gonna be a very good talk. I have a lot of things to get off my chest. I might be mostly bragging here over how many people were saying Suns and 4, and I countered that by saying Bucks and 7. It's probably gonna be Bucks and 6 now. Bucks and 6 now, not even 7, 6. But yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting talk today. It's definitely gonna be something. I can't even find the words. It's definitely gonna be a great talk. I can already tell. The Bucks trio went crazy on Saturday. Just crazy sequence of the final play of the game. And that's one thing we're gonna be talking about today. Another thing we're gonna be talking about is MLB season. The second half started on Friday. We're gonna be talking about that. Like, who do we think is gonna get this MVP? Who's gonna get the divisions? Like, bold prediction moves. Who's gonna get traded? Who's gonna win the division? We're gonna talk about a lot of that today. And really, that's gonna be it for today. We got lots to talk about and lots to just kick in the gear. And it's gonna be a good week. Can already tell. It's gonna be very exciting. But first, I think we just gotta talk about just the main topics. Saturday, the Bucks and the Suns. And really, before we start, I just gotta say that the Suns choked. They choked. They choked again. In the fourth quarter, and then they really did throughout the entire game. They were leading at one point 32-16. They were beating the Bucks on everything. I mean, the Bucks are making careless turnovers. Suns are capitalizing on it, and it looked like it was going to be one of those blowouts that the home team obviously wins. And then something happened in the second quarter where the Suns really just died. I mean, the Bucks made one of the quickest runs back into a game that I have ever seen. They got back into that game down by like 15. Only took them 2 minutes. About 2 to 3 minutes to get back into the game. It was one of the quickest runs that I have ever seen, and it felt like it happened in just like a matter of seconds, because it's like you're watching a game, but you're not. Sometimes you don't really pay attention to the score, and it looked like the way how the game was going, that the Suns were in complete control. They missed just a few shots, and the Bucks just drained off a whole lot. That's kind of how my motto of my brain, what I can remember, happened in that game, where the Bucks came back that fast, because it kind of came in like a blink. Like you could either, it was something like you go to the bathroom for a minute, you come back and you're like, what just happened? Like a hockey game. We know about hockey, especially in the playoff time. You can't turn your head for a second in hockey, because if you do, you could look back and somebody scored. It has happened plenty of times to me. It happened this year. It's happened last year. It's happened every year I've watched hockey. That you really need to be locked in on the game, because if you could be locked in for the entire game, the entire 2 hours, but you turn your head for a second to look at something, a goal was scored, and you're like, what just happened? Like, that's what it felt like when the Bucks came back on the Suns. That's exactly what it felt like, to me at least. At halftime, Bucks were up by 4, I believe. The Bucks big three, their trio really helped them a lot. And what's so crazy about this is that if the Bucks win, they wouldn't even do it without a super team. Because think about it like this. Drew Holiday. People were saying Eric Bledsoe was better than Drew Holiday. Now, me personally, as a person who has watched basketball over the years, I called that BS. Because I believe Drew Holiday is better than Eric Bledsoe. And I'm so glad that Drew Holiday is in the finals, because people can actually see how much of a defensive threat and how much he dominates defense type of guy he is. And getting the winning steal, ripping it out of Devin Booker's hands, and making that sequence happen, throwing that alley-oop to Giannis is definitely something that a lot of people aren't going to forget about, because it was probably one of the greatest sequences that has ever happened in the finals, at least that I can remember. And a lot of people were talking about Drew Holiday, and people were saying once they signed him to that big contract, and even me, I was like, damn, like 4 years, $150 million. I was like I think he deserves the money, but whoa, $150 million. Like, I was thinking more of like $100 million, not like $150 million. Obviously, I still think he deserved a big contract, but that I didn't think they would give him like a max, But people were saying that, he doesn't deserve the mil. You only need to pay him like $30 million, and this is why the Bucks paid him $150 million. This is why they paid him that much money for 4 years, is so that they can have another primary ball handler that is a very good ball handler. So you don't have to have the ball with Chris Middleton or Pat Connaughton all the time. Drew Holiday definitely fills that role perfectly. He plays great defense. In the playoffs, he's been a little but when he shows up, and he showed up Saturday, that's the Drew Holiday that I like to see. That's the Drew Holiday that I know that can play. The Bucks trio, I think, combined for about over 75 points. They really led in game 3. I mean, it was a great performance. I mean, nobody was like the odd man out. Everybody had the same amount of points. Everybody had the same amount of minutes. Everybody was going hard, and it was a really great game. The Suns in the fourth quarter, they did come back down in the last few minutes by 10 until the Suns had the ball. They had a chance to take the lead. Devin Booker drives into the paint, gets swarmed, absolutely got fried in the paint. Drew Holiday takes the steal, throws that alley-oop to Giannis, which is one of the greatest alley-oops I've probably ever seen in finals history. That's one of the greatest alley-oops I've ever seen. But it was like a real masterpiece. The way how the Bucks came back in that game, and the way how they finished off strong. For the Suns, they are slowly falling apart. That's what I believe. They are slowly falling apart. In game 4, Chris Paul has the ball, and he loses it against Drew Holiday. Devin Booker in game 5 drives, loses the ball against Drew Holiday. So the primary question is, who is going to be the main ball handler in late game situations. Because people say it should be Chris Paul, people say it should be Devin Booker, but they both turn the ball over in back-to-back games while down a possession. So my question is, who's gonna have the ball in the final minutes? People say Chris Paul, people say Devin Booker. Do you want the shooter? Do you want the passer? Like, who should have the ball? And the answer for me is anybody who is the hot hand. That's who should have the ball. The person who has the hot hand in the game is the person who should have the ball. Because from what I saw, Drew Holiday is a defensive menace. And he pickpocketed Drew Holiday pickpocketed Chris Paul and Devin Booker. So I think it comes down to who has the hot hand. Who do you trust more? And this is really all lies on Monty Williams. He's in a tough situation because they're probably watching film and they're like, who do we give the ball to? And really, it kind of comes down to who has the hot hand and also the situation you put yourself into. Because if you have to put yourself in a situation where you have a young team and they need one score to take the lead in a game that has like 20 seconds left. That's not a good situation for a young team. We might say, yeah, Devin Booker is like, oh yeah, he can be Kobe and this and that, like he's Kobe and that, but he's still a young guy in his first playoffs. He's not a veteran guy. In the playoffs, he's a rookie. So in this scenario, you shouldn't let a young team, you need to figure out a way how to not let a young team get in situations like that, because when you're a rookie in a situation, you make mistakes. It's the same thing for Chris Paul. It's the same thing. And I think, and since how this scenario is, where nobody before the finals started has finals experience, it kind of comes down to who has the hot hand. That's really, I think, you can all be said, because yeah, Chris Paul might have more experience, but in the finals he's a rookie. I mean, the finals is a different game. It's not like a regular season or a playoff game where, like a first round or second round playoff game where it's like, oh, I messed up, like we got next game. Like, no, like this is the finals. This is like one play can drastically change a series. And that one play was Drew Holiday's lob to Giannis after taking the ball from Devin Booker. Now the Suns have to go into Game 6 in Milwaukee with a crowd that is going to roar. Absolutely roar. Not scream, roar. Every single minute of the game. And communication is going to be humongous and completely key. Because that tempo change, once there's a tempo change, you can feel it. As a player, you can feel that tempo change. I talked about it in Game 1. Whoever gets the tempo change is going to win the series. And right now, the Bucks have the tempo, and I believe they're going to win this in 6. Because of how much momentum they have. They went into Phoenix and took a game from them, which is what they needed to do. The Bucks needed to take one game in Phoenix. That's all they needed was one. They got it now. The Bucks got it. They got this series on wraps right now. I personally don't believe the Suns can come back from this. I really don't. Tempo change is a very big thing, and right now the Suns are going to have to overcome a whole lot and stay mentally locked in for a long period of time, and they're going to be gassed. Their brains, physically and mentally, are going to be gassed. They are going to be very tired out. In the third quarter, they are going to be gassed mentally because of how locked in they have to be with a crowd that can see their team winning the finals that night and being in the building that night, they're going to be screaming. And the thing is, Milwaukee, they don't even have a super team. Their super team was guys that the Bucks took into their organization in 2013. Drew Holiday was just an extra piece, but nobody thought Drew Holiday would be like this. Everybody said Eric Bledsoe was better than Drew Holiday. People said the Bucks weren't going to make the finals. Everybody was saying Nets and Lakers, you know. Everybody was saying that. I was saying it. Injuries were obviously a big part of the season, but the Bucks, there's a reason why I picked the Bucks to win the series. There's a reason. There's a reason why I said that. It's because I know their game changer, Drew Holiday, is a fiend on the defensive side. I've said it. And right now, the way how it is, that boy Giannis is gonna go crazy. That's the way how it's gonna be. Fun little stat. Giannis pulled up to Game 3 with black Air Force Ones, and they haven't lost a game since. So, is he gonna pull off a black Air Force look playing in the game? That's just a fun little fact. The man is a menace. The whole team is a menace. The team, they're not even, they created a super team with guys that were in their organization for a while. The Bucks did. They brought in a piece, like I said, Drew Holiday. They brought him in, and people didn't even think it would be a super team. That is what I'm getting at. And they're about to win the finals, and this will bring a humongous boost to Giannis's legacy if they can win this finals. Because one, he didn't do it with guys that they brought in besides Drew Holiday, which people thought Eric Bledsoe was better than Drew Holiday. And two, it would be his first one, the first one they brought back to Milwaukee off of signing a big contract that people thought he wasn't supposed to sign. Chris Middleton, people didn't think that signing a contract with Milwaukee would be a good idea, but now people are looking at it as it's a great idea. So yeah, that's all I got for that. I got Bucks and 6 now. It's not 7 anymore. It's 6. But yeah, I think we should move on. But I mean, Bucks and 6, baby. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see how the Suns capitalize. We'll see what happens. But anyway, let's go into baseball, man. We got baseball season's back up. MVP conversations are now starting to get a little bit more relevant now. Lots of stuff is going on. Triple Crown. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. has a chance to get a Triple Crown this season. Who has a chance to make the playoffs? Trades are starting to go down. What's happening in Chicago with the Cubs? White Sox having a great series with great against the Astros. What's going on in the NL East that's so buzzing about? There's so much we got to talk about. There's so much going on in the league right now, and I think we just got to start with the MVP's discussions, man. We got to start with the AL, with the not even Cy Young, just MVP in general. One, MVP, who should be in the discussion for AL? It should be right now Shohei Ohtani and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That's who should be the MVP right now in the MVP discussion in the AL. I can't really see anybody else in that discussion. Shohei Ohtani is a two-way player, hitter, and pitcher who is putting up amazing stats. His 34th bomb yesterday. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. just got into the 30 home run column about a couple of days ago and is right now fiending and trying to get that Triple Crown. The last person to get a Triple Crown in the AL is Miguel Cabrera. Now, I've seen Shohei Ohtani in person, and that man is a tank. He is a package. That man can hit, he can run fast, he can pitch, and he can field. That man can do everything. He's like an MLB The Show character. He's like a My Player. That man is literally like a demigod, you would see in 2K. That man can do anything. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is a little bit different. Now, obviously, he can't pitch, but he has a very good swing and he has very good hitting attributes. We can obviously tell that he did something with his mechanics and he lost a little bit of weight, as we can tell. As one, his swing got way better and he lost weight. Now, obviously, you don't gain a better swing by losing weight. He had to do something with his mechanics. He did something really well. He's one of the best hitters that I have ever seen to be able to hit a slider the way how he hits a slider. You can't pitch a slider to that man. He'll either see it and it'll go for a ball, or he's going to hit it the other way. He is one of the best hitters that I have seen to hit a slider. It's pretty remarkable, to be honest. Really remarkable. Pretty insane. But yeah, right now Shohei Ohtani and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. should be the MVP races for the AL. The NL right now, people are saying it's either going to be Jacob deGrom or Fernando Tatis Jr. I agree with that. Fernando Tatis just got into, I believe, the 30 home run column. He is raking. He could be the first player to hit 40 home runs and get 40 stolen bases in a season, which would be very impressive, because that's very hard to do. Just hit 40 home runs and get 40 stolen bases, but both, that's impressive. And two, Jacob deGrom, who is putting up a insane amount of ERA, who's putting up his ERA is insane. It's just about him staying healthy. Just him staying healthy is just the main thing. If he can stay healthy throughout the season, I will believe he will get an MVP. Unless Fernando gets that 40 and 40, then I believe Fernando will get it. Now, people say Fernando shouldn't get it, not because of his hitting, but because of his fielding. I believe he has the most errors at the shortstop position in the league. Me personally, as long as you are helping your team win, that's all that matters. If you are helping your team lose, then you shouldn't be MVP. But if you're helping your team win, then you should be MVP. Yes, he might make those errors, but it's also making errors in a game come back to haunt you. But then when you get RBIs later in the game, you make up for it. That's something that Fernando is actually pretty well and easy to do at. And he's very good at doing that. There are the games that are going to be on today. I think the key games are going to be on today. The Red Sox and the Blue Jays. They start a series together. The Padres and the Braves. The Indians and the Astros. Just some very good games. The Twins and the White Sox are having a doubleheader today. The Giants and the Dodgers start a series today, and the Cubs and the Cardinals start a series today. Obviously, there's some good rivalries going on today, and some really good series, and there's gonna be some great excitement going on in the series and some of these series this weekend. Stuff is gonna be going down. Thursday, or later in the week, I should say, more series that will be going on. That are going to be very interesting that we got to take a look at are the Braves and the Phillies. The Yankees and the Red Sox are going to be facing each other on the 23rd. The Rays and the Indians. The Reds and the Cardinals are facing each other. The White Sox and the Brewers, that's going to be very interesting. They're going to be facing each other. And the Athletics and the Mariners, I don't normally say those guys, but the Mariners right now are kind of creeping up on the A's. There's a lot of good things to talk about, man. There's a lot of great things that we're gonna be talking about that we're gonna get a little bit more in detail later in the week, along with the MVP talk. Because I don't really got an answer over the MVP talk, man. But we'll definitely talk about that more in the upcoming week. But a topic we got to talk about. It's a very sensitive topic, so still containing baseball on Saturday. If nobody heard, which you probably already have, there was a shooting outside Nationals Park on Saturday, and I believe 4 people got shot. It was outside the Nationals Park. It happened about going into the bottom of the 6th inning. Nationals players were going into their dugout, and there was a hair of gunshots. You can even hear it on the TV on the Nationals broadcast. You could hear like gunshots going on, about like 7. It sounded like 7 went off. You could even hear it going into the TV or on the TV. It was a very scary encounter for some people, as they said that they heard the shots going off, and once they did, people started going crazy. People started going outside, running around, and it was a lot of craziness going on. A lot of people were running around. That's what people said. A bunch of people said they were hiding under the seats, just in case there's a shooter that was going to get inside. There was, I believe, the shooting happened outside the third base gate, on the third base side and the third base gate, I believe. Outside of the stadium, obviously. But yeah, people said that it was a very scary experience, as there was a lot of chaos going on, and there were some people who said they didn't know what to do. And that is definitely probably something very scary. In my opinion, that is probably the scariest situation ever, because now we can't go anywhere. Even going to a baseball game, you could die. Like, you can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere in this country without not feeling safe. The whole goal is for you is to feel safe. You can't. If stuff like that at a baseball game happens, that can honestly traumatize someone as, I'm never gonna go to a baseball game again. Because they just don't feel safe. For me, I mean, for me personally, it's sad that we have to say, oh well, now going to a baseball game, you might be killed. Bro, what? Imagine someone just saying that to you. It's like, oh, you have a chance of dying at a baseball game, not because of a baseball, and it's like what? It's kind of scary when you talk about it too, because it's like, imagine if the guy got inside too. Like, imagine if the person who was shooting got inside the building too. Like, it would have been way worse and probably way more chaotic. Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., and Will Myers opened the front gates on their dugout, and were able to bring fans into their dugout for safety, which is a very heroic move by them, because that's very scary, because you never know, because they didn't even know where the shooter was, but they never hesitated to help the fans out, to help the people get to safety. It's a very it's a very scary moment, and especially happening in the nation's capital. Happening there, it's a very scary moment, because you never know. And during the All-Star weekend, some maid lady went into someone's room and found about 1,000 bullets for a light machine gun, over the Rocky Stadium in a hotel rooms. That could have ended bad. Like, there were so many things that is just going on that's just like, you can't even feel safe. Which is very which is not cool, man. It's not cool at all. I really have no words to say for it. I don't really like getting deep into those type of topics, but it's definitely it's definitely a very interesting topic. But yeah, at least 4 people were shot outside the park, and I believe that was the last week, that was the 18th mass shooting that happened in the last week. Like, there's something that's not right. 18 in the last week. And it's crazy because I haven't even heard like 80% of them. It's actually sad because it's become so normal to just hear that in the news. That's just like, oh well, there's a shooting there. Oh, go on with your day. Like, what? Like, it's become so normal where there's news. No, they don't even say anything because it's like, well, you know, what's new? I mean, this is basically the norm now. So this and that. Like, bro, like, why? Like there's like I don't even know now. I don't even understand. Like, I don't understand. And this is just me personally, would just speaking my mind, not even anything about politics or nothing has to do with it. It's just talking about just simple human and gun rights. That's just like, just hearing this stuff, just mass shootings going on, it's just like crazy to me because it's just like now it's becoming a norm, and that's not good. That's becoming a norm because if the more it becomes a norm, the more people want it to keep it that way, and the more people want to do other bad things. That's definitely why we as a country, we gotta figure something out. Definitely gotta figure something out as a country, and we can't just let people just randomly shoot outside of a baseball stadium and just, you know, do that. You know, it's just a pretty sad topic to talk about, honestly, man. I kind of wish I kind of thought about what I was gonna say before I was talking about that, but you know, it's a pretty sad topic to talk about, honestly. Just talking, it's not really like my bread and butter, but it's definitely something we got to talk about, as you never know, like, what could happen in like an NBA stadium, or even at a hockey stadium, or even for the upcoming football season. You know, like, we don't know what's gonna happen, like, because we definitely got to protect our players, but we also got to protect their fans. So yeah, that's what I got on that. I mean, pretty sad topic to talk about, but that's apparently that's what's going on right now still. As a nation, we just gotta figure it out. We figure it out together and not argue like little children about it, then I think we'll be okay. But yeah, that's what I got about that. I'm just glad everybody's safe and all the fans were safe. They did replay the game in the 6th inning. The Padres, I believe, won that game 10-4. Sunday, the Nationals beat the Padres 8-7 on a walk-off. Mark Melanson, I believe, gave up his first or second, I believe, I'm not sure, on blown save of the season. I'm not sure. Sunday, Alex Reyes got his 24th save. I think he's the first person in MLB history to go 24 for 24 on save opportunities as a closer to start out his season, I guess. Very impressive. More impressive, the fact that the Phillies have 23 blown saves as a team. That, I think that's more impressive than going 24 for 24. Definitely way more impressive, I would say. I don't even know how you do that. Sunday Night Baseball was on yesterday. Yankees beat the Red Sox, I believe, 9-1. I don't really have a score sheet in front of me. I'm just going based off of my memory from yesterday. I believe they beat 9-1 yesterday. Bruno Odor had not a towering fly ball, but just a no-doubter home run yesterday in the 7th inning, which kind of ended the game right there for the Red Sox. Gleyber Torres hit a home run in back-to-back games for Red Sox, or not for the Red Sox, against the Red Sox. And I believe the Yankees took 2 or 3 from the Red Sox. 2 or 3. Well, they had a 4-game. I don't believe they played actually on Thursday. I believe there was something COVID going on. They didn't play, so I'm guessing they might make that game up unless they already did. Not completely sure, but Yankees, I believe, did take that series though from the Red Sox yesterday. If I'm not mistaken, I don't really got a stat sheet in front of me over that, but the Yankees are trying to get back on track. And today is Monday. Which means we gotta do our power rankings today. MLB power rankings today, Monday Fun Day, or no one calls Monday Fun Day. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to figure something out in order, because no one likes Mondays. But I mean, no one likes Mondays. But it's Mondays are always probably one of the greatest days because you start your week off correct and you start off right. Our power rankings for today, they're a little bit shifty. Obviously, since we did that on a Monday, the All-Star break happened, so it might not be. Obviously, they might still be the same, but they're gonna be it's a little different. So I mean, first, we just gotta start off with just number 1. The Giants are number 1 on my list. They are right now still the best team, or in the league with the best record. Actually, something crazy in the AL. There are 3 teams that all have the same record, besides the White Sox, who are 56-36. The Red Sox and the Astros, who are both in first place, are 56-38. But for my power rankings, the Giants are number 1. My number 2 team going into the week, or for the power rankings for this week, are the Red Sox. Number 3 are the Astros. Number 4 are the Dodgers. Very interesting, yes. Are the Dodgers. Number 5 are the Astros. Or not the Astros, the White Sox. Number 6 are the Padres. Number 7 are the Rays. Number 8 are the Brewers. Number 9 are the Athletics. And number 10 are the Mets. So definitely the rankings, I can't really, we only had about like 3 games with each team within the week after we made that, so not really. I can't really say that they shifted, because really, if you look at it, the Phillies are 2 games out, but they are definitely not better than the Mets right now. The Brewers, I just swept the Reds, so there's that. They're gonna stay up there. The A's are on a 2-game losing streak, so they went down a little bit. White Sox won a series with the Astros, so they're up a little bit. And the Padres are they went up after kind of collapsing their division a little bit. But it's really kind of just the same as last week. Nothing really big happened. Only about like a drop to an increase of about 1 or 2. So really nothing huge went on, But yeah, that's what I got for the power rankings, man. For the for MLB, for the baseball season of week whatever it is. That's gonna be it for the that's gonna end off for today's episode. We're getting to the 40-minute mark. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good rest of your Monday. Mondays are usually always the greatest days because to start your week off right. The way how you start your week off right is obviously on a Monday. Just keep the good vibes and attitude, and I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll talk more about the Bucks and the Suns anyway. Hope you have a good rest of your Monday, and I'm out. Peace.